Bottle Club then, Spread Your Love on XFM 104.9. I'm loving this, Steve. It's a lovely day.
Yep.
We're
playing some great music.
We're playing some great tunes, aren't we?
Absolutely.
We're having some great chat.
Yeah, yeah.
So, let's carry on, let's continue.
Well, absolutely. Well, obviously Carl was out with me last night and he saw that I'm, you know, he knows I'm a ladies' man, and that was obvious, Carl. You could see the vibe around me, couldn't you, when the chicks were talking to me. And, just remembered recently, actually, I was on a train coming back from, hometown Bristol. And I was on the train, and, this girl walks on, good-looking girl. I thought, hey, a largely empty carriage. I'm thinking, my luck's in. You know, 'cause I take every opportunity, Carl. That's the thing about me. You know, I don't choose. She was a good-looking girl. She sat down. I thought, she sat down right near me. I thought, brilliant. As, this guy comes up behind her, and says, I think it's probably a boyfriend or something, sits down next to her. And I listened in on the conversation, you know, obviously, because I'm pretending to read. It was very clever. I read the same page for hours, so I was pretending to listen. I was listening, but pretending to read. And, I realised that it's not her boyfriend or anything. It's just some guy she's met on the platform. And I'm thinking, brilliant, if she's the kind of girl who's just going to start talking to someone, you know, on a platform, on a train, brilliant, I'm going to be in here. Because he was only going one stop. So I'm thinking, what's the worst that can happen? He'll nick off, you know, I'll get chatting to her, you know, and who knows, I could join the... is there a train equivalent?
Foot High Club.
The Foot High Club, brilliant. And, so I'm excited, you know, I'm listening in. And, they're talking, it turns out that they're both kind of, graduates, they've just finished university, or they're coming to their finals or something. And they're chatting away, you know, and he's making a couple of witticisms, you know, and she's kind of tittering at his jokes. I'm thinking, well, I'll tell you this, if she's laughing at this kind of material, I am gonna blow her away, you know, with my kind of anecdotes and wry observations, you know.
Yeah.
It was weak stuff, I gotta be honest.
Really?
He was coming out with nothing. He was running on empty, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And she was loving it. So I'm thinking, brilliant, I'm gonna be right in here. And then they get moving on to higher brow things, you know, and, I think she was going to study kind of Marxism or something like that, or communism, something. And she was asking him, you know, by way of conversation, she was asking him what he knew about Marxism, you know. And he was fumbling for his vague knowledge of it that he had in his life. And I'm just sat there thinking, yeah, come on, love, in any given capitalist environment, the proletariat will revolt against their oppression by the bourgeoisie, and after a brief period of socialist rule, emerge as a classist society governed by community cooperation.
Well, if that sort of talk wouldn't get a woman hot, I don't know. I don't know what you'd use then.
If Marx and Engels is not going to get a woman sweaty down below, then nothing is. So my name is not.
You're just biding your time.
Exactly. I'm just going to go in for the kill any minute.
Yeah.
So anyway, it comes to his stop, right? He gets off. I'm thinking this is a piece of cake, and he gets off, and off he goes. He walks off, and I'm thinking brilliant. And I thought, I'll wait till the train's pulled away. I'm not going to leap in straight away.
No.
And he comes back on the carriage, and I'm thinking, hang on a minute. He goes, listen, do you mind if I give you my email address, right? And if you want to get in touch, email me. I'm thinking, come on, you loser, get off now, save your face. Please, before it's too much. And she accepts the email address because she obviously doesn't want to hurt his feelings, whatever. I'm thinking, fair enough, she's a good woman, I'm liking her. I'm thinking, that's my kind of girl. So anyway, he gets off. I'm sat there, the train pulls away, I'm thinking, yeah, I'll wait a few minutes, you know, I'll just, you know, give it some time. Her phone rings, it's her friend on the phone. And, she starts to, and I was listening in, and she was going, yeah, just met a guy on the train. I'm thinking, yeah, that's true enough. She goes, yeah, he was a good-looking guy. I thought, you're having a laugh, love. To be honest. Because I was looking at him, and she said to her friend, he looks a bit like tennis player Boris Becker. I thought, you should be so lucky, frankly, because I saw him, he had awful facial hair, if that's what makes him look like Boris Becker. Terrible little goatee beard, it was laughable. I thought, I don't know, and then she goes to thing, and she's like, yeah, I met him, we got chatting and stuff, you know, and she was going, it's not often that you meet someone, you know, generally in life, who's, you know, kind of thoughtful and intelligent and funny. I thought to myself, I'm not even gonna waste my time with you, love. Frankly, if that's what you thought of him. You just walked away. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't even bother talking to her.
No,
I didn't even waste my time with her.
If she thinks that bloke is not only great looking, but funny and intelligent, and she got on well, and he was polite, and it was a chance meeting, and he thought, and she thought that you were like a freaky looking dork who didn't even have the nerve to speak.
If that is what she was thinking, then I don't want to know it.
I couldn't, you walked away, and good luck to you.
And I have my dignity intact.
Yes, and she's nothing. Travis, Flowers in the Window on XFM 104.9. Well, coming to that time where we do White Van Man.
Absolutely, with producer Carl.
And Carl's also going to be telling us his slant on fables, on Aesop.
Absolutely.
I was out with Carl. I know I shouldn't be.
Yeah, well, I broke the rule as well.
I know, well, I was out with him the night before, I think, and we were just chatting, and as you know, we're going to Edinburgh for a week.
Yeah, that's all three of us.
That's all three of us, yeah.
It wasn't, I just wondered for a minute if there was some arrangement you two had made. Like next weekend, just popping out there seeing the sights.
Yeah. No, we're going to do a week's broadcasting from the Edinburgh Festival. And, you know, and Carl's going, I bet you lie in, don't you, and all this. And I was going, well, yeah, he's going, well, he wants to be up at 9:30 and out looking at the sights, you know what I mean? Yeah, but anyway, and I said, have you ever had haggis? And he went, it's black pudding in it. I went, no, it's mince. He went, I like mince. I went, yeah, but wait, it's mince in a sheep's stomach, right? And he went, what, they force feed a sheep, then kill it? Imagine that, Carl.
It makes sense, though, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't make sense. They force feed a sheep mince, and then kill it till its stomach's nice and full, and they go, oh, this one's full, kill it, before it starts digesting it. Of course they don't. It's a membrane and the other one, he was talking about, like, he likes Richmond Park. He goes, I like to see all the deers. I went, it's deers, plural, you don't need to say deers. I try and educate whenever I can.
What's that one?
I said,
The deer is already plural.
yeah, deer is plural. I said, you know, like sheep or fish, so you can say fishes. And we were laughing at us. I said, do you know the, plural of, mongoose? Because a lot of people think it would be mongoose. It's not, it's mongooses. Do you know what Carl said?
Plural of mongoose.
Mongoose, yes.
Plural of mongoose?
It's worth a competition. No, it's not, no.
No, go on.
Carl, what did you think the plural of mongoose was?
Mongs.
Play a record after this white van, man.
Do you want to play,
Oh, let's play a bit of Dylan, yeah. This is a beautiful track. It's, Just Like a Woman. Well, I think that's a beautiful record. It's by Bob Dylan, and it's Just Like a Woman. And Carl went, he's got his headphones on, so he's speaking a bit loud.
The harmonica's playing.
In a whiny mank accent, when the harmonica's going, that's an annoying sound, that, innit? God.
Oh, bless
Bob Dylan there. An annoying sound there.
did you hear about...
The annoying sound of Bob Dylan, that could be a new album.
Yeah, yeah.
Just that sort of sound always reminds me of, a one-man band.
Yeah.
Have you heard the story about Leo Sayer with his song One Man Band?
No?
Years ago. What year was, oh, God.
I'm in the mood for dancing?
What's the song that he did about a one-man
I'm a
band?
one-man band, it was called.
Right, yeah.
Funnily enough. Go
Yeah,
on.
he did that, one-man band, and he was playing it at the Dominion Theatre.
Yeah.
And apparently, whenever he played, he sort of sang this song, he got the audience involved. And the line in it was, I'm a one-man band.
Nobody knows or understands. Is there anybody there can lend me a hand
Right.
to my one-man
He
band?
said that, and what he used to do, he used to reach out
Oh, yeah.
and grab people's hands, and then he'd walk down the middle. Anyway, he said, well, anyone lend me a hand? He stuck his hand out, grabbed like a hand, and was walking down, everyone looked horrified, and some woman who had like a plastic hand, it had come off. And he was walking down the middle of like Dominion Theatre with his plastic hand in his hand. And he said, oh, it's a moment I won't forget.
He knows how to tell a story, Leo Sayer.
Right, well, it's time for White Van Man, which is where we ask Carl the questions that the Sun asked someone else.
Exactly.
It's an article in there where they ask them, you know, typical man on the street, the big questions of the day, gives them their platform to the nation, and we think this is just too good to let out, because we only care about one person's opinion in the country now.
That's true enough, it's the came out, and there he is.
There he is, right.
Carl, your thoughts, please, on Kylie Minogue slagging off Britney Spears for ignoring her fans at her premiere. Are you aware of that story?
No.
She got booed at her premiere of her new film, Britney, because she'd left her fans waiting for like an hour. Some of them had travelled up from Bristol, other parts of the country.
3,000 of them.
Loads of them screaming for her. She just went straight into the theatre an hour late, just gave them a quick wave and straight in. Didn't even
And they
bother
were
to shake their
crying
hands,
and
sign any
slagging her off.
autographs. So they were booing.
What do you think of that, Carl?
And Kylie's obviously said that was actually outrageous, you know, and you should treat your fans with respect. What do you make of it?
So she did wave. Like,
Yeah, but literally as she was walking into the theatre.
was it raining?
No, I don't think it was.
He's like a defence lawyer who hasn't really read the brief.
He's just winging it.
Judge's first joke, was it raining? No? Ah, shit, I was relying on that.
Was she running late for the start of the film?
Yes, but that's her own fault. I mean, the people are inside, they're not going to start the film without her. It's Britney Spears.
Yeah.
She could take some time out. You know, when Tom Cruise came here, he spent like an hour and a half just shaking people's hands, talking to people on their mobile phones, all sorts. That's Tom Cruise, he's a bigger name than Britney.
I know, but...
He's a smaller person, but he's a bigger name.
What do people want from people? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
An autograph, things like that, a photo.
This one's going nowhere, Steve. Is there another one?
Fair enough.
You know, it's not bad. If she had more time, she might have done it. I bet she would have done it on another day. I mean, I'm not feeling too good today.
But you're going to still take time out to sign people's autographs, surely, when you leave the building.
Yeah, there's always a bit of a crowd, isn't there?
Next.
Go on.
What do you make of New York's ex-police chief saying we need more bobbies on the beat? He's come over here. He's the guy that sorted out crime in New York City. He's come over. He said, "You're going all over the place here. You need more bobbies on the beat, more policemen, a visible police presence."
There was something last week about some copper in London who was sat on a bench, and he was asleep or something.
Yeah.
And people were like outraged because like he should be looking after, you know, England's people, not nodding off on a park bench, which is a bit daft because
They were shouting he should be looking after England's people. Was this the 16th century you went back to? What do you mean he should be looking after England's people?
you know, wherever he was, if he was in like a park somewhere, they were like really annoyed because he was asleep. But
Sure.
the way I
Probably
look at it,
undercover.
well, no, but the thing is, if there would have been any trouble, I'm sure he would have woke up.
Yeah.
If there was any sort of, if someone needed help and he screamed, he would have woke up. So I don't know why they were having a go at him.
Yeah. And he might not have been there at all. So you know, it was
Yeah.
he would probably have his radio turned on, didn't he?
Yeah.
Listening to Heart.
So you're not concerned then that there's not the crimes going
I
up?
think there's enough. I see quite a lot of them whizzing around.
Okay. You're happy then?
Yeah.
As long as you're happy, Carl.
So you don't think it's too much crime?
No.
Just the right amount. Just the right amount of crime.
So what do you want now?
Well, what about song with a story?
See with the, right, well, last week,
Look at him. He's in a genuinely foul mood.
No, he's actually rocking.
Yeah.
He's actually rocking like Rain Man as well.
last week we did, like you say, Eric Clapton. This is the section where we play a song with a story. I think every song, if it's a good song, it's got a story. You've got to listen to it, sort of, you know, from the start. You get in the middle, you're going, oh, how's it going to end and all that. You wait another minute, you know the ending, you're happy.
But the thing is, as Steve said, you know, sometimes we're disappointed with it, so it's just not a good story. And as Steve said, I'm not sure you're finding what you need in a song for a story. Why don't you read a book, a novel? If you want a really good story that engrosses you, why don't you read a book? You're not going to get it from a pop
I haven't
song.
got time for a book. Song's 3.5 minutes.
And that's it, is it? And that satisfied you?
Well, yeah, it gets you thinking for a few minutes, then you move on. This
Then you
one,
stop thinking.
2 minutes 50, this one, right? It's brilliant.
Go on,
It's about, last week we talked about the little crippled fella, right? This one,
as I say, I don't think we say cripple anymore, but go on.
alright, this one, someone emailed in saying if you want a song about that, this is a song you want to listen to, right?
Right.
It's about this fella who, basically something happened, I think he's in a wheelchair, right, for some reason.
You thought that last time.
His wife, you know, likes going out. She doesn't take him with her when she goes out.
Right.
Is it Ruby Don't Take Your Love to Town?
Yeah.
Good, brilliant song.
We'll just play it then.
Yeah, great song.
Alright.
What do you mean?
No, it's just, it's a good story. It starts off well and that, you're feeling sorry for him, but then he says, where's my gun?
Yeah. Because she's a slut.
Why?
Because she's going off.
Yeah, but what does he expect her to do?
What? Just because he paralysed his legs fighting for his country, presumably in Vietnam War, says that crazy Asian war. So he's gone, he's fought for his country, he's taken a bullet, he's come home, he can't walk, he should be a hero, and then his wife's going out putting it about downtown.
Why do I never meet women like Ruby?
It's the start of a new strand in the show, a new quiz, a new competition to replace Rockbusters. Now that's quite a tall order, but what have you done?
Right, like I said, right, if you've only just tuned in, what it is, I've took, and I'll be taking, a well-known saying every week from the show, something that crops up a lot. First one that sprang to mind was...
There's a little gay fella standing next to me in the urinal?
That's next week.
Okay.
This week, there's this airy Chinese kid, right?
Yeah.
That's crops up quite a lot,
Sweeping the nation.
right? So what I've done, I've got 5 songs,
Yeah.
and I've edited them together to make that saying.
You've got words from songs where any part of that sentence occurs to recreate it.
Yeah.
Now, what do they need to do? Do they need to say what the song is? Just the 5 songs?
I mean, I was going to say song and artist, but if you want, just a song.
So there's 5 things there, and if someone doesn't get all 5, it's still worth emailing in because we might give it to the one who's got the most, and then...
Yeah.
Can I suggest we go for artist rather than song? Only because sometimes it's quite tricky to get a song title. Sometimes it's it's very odd, or it's not quite what you think it is. So maybe artist is an easier one.
Are you happy with that, Carl? It's your
that right?
competition.
I mean, Steve always does this whenever I come up with an idea.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just trying to make sure it's just the best it can
yeah,
be, Carl.
Yeah, no, he came up with a few game shows, and Steve was going, no, it's no good. And Carl said to me, he said, it's the one of The Office ever got on telly.
Yeah, but Well, we shall see how Cheapest Chimps plays out, but frankly, the fact that you said to me, Steve, I've come up with the best game show ever, it's called Cheapest Chimps, what's the idea? I don't know, I just like the name. It's something to do with chimps. I thought, well, I'm not sure that's the best game show ever. And what was the other one you came up with that you told me
I think a
about?
few people will be disagreeing with him, Carl. I think people will say that Cheapest Chimps could be the best game show ever.
You know, when I was at school, people like you, I really didn't like. You're a stirrer, Gervais. He flits, doesn't he, from one side to the next, Carl. The one thing, we may argue, mate, but at least we're consistent. Ricky Gervais flipping from one side to the other. One day he's on Carl's side.
When was the last time Steve wrestled you to the ground and got you in a leg clamp?
No, you're right.
Never.
What, is that supposed to be a good thing?
Well, did you see us?
Yeah, I saw you struggling in Carl's office earlier.
He was punching my legs to release me. We were on the floor, and I was squeezing him with my mighty legs, wasn't I, Carl?
What?
It was like, I imagine that's what a crab feels like when an octopus has got it. We were playing that, weren't we?
So anyway... So, I'll play you this clip now, it's 10 seconds long, we'll play it a couple of times because you'll need to take it in. So here it is then. What are we saying? We're saying artists?
Let's go with artists.
Artists, so email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk, name the 5 artists it has taken to make up the saying,
Give
there's
that
this
email
early
address
Chinese
again.
kid.
Give that email address again.
ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
There's this hairy Chinese kid.
Here we go. Play it again.
Play it again.
Here we go.
I think you better play it once more.
I've got them.
Have you got them all?
Yeah.
That's nice work.
Here we go.
I can just remind you now that the prizes include a Red Dwarf DVD, Mary and Jeff, the first series of that on VHS, a Live Forever Britpop CD, and also the very best of Led Zeppelin. Let's play one of those actually while we're here. Brilliant. Rock and roll. Who is he and what is he to you? We have not had any successful answers on your quiz, Carl. We've had people who've
That's
got
what you get
a
when
maximum
you put
of 4.
a duck in a microwave.
Yeah, yeah.
Bill Withers.
Nice.
Alright?
Cheers. So I'm not talking about Cheapest Chimps.
That's safe. That's going to run and run.
Yeah,
that is going to run and run.
That's really got legs.
I'm going to check the press Monday. I can only assume it's a triumph.
Exactly, another Pilkington triumph.
Yeah.
I'm going to give the prize, if you don't mind, Carl, to Karen and Jeff Gillian, because they're the only one that got. They were the only couple that got the second answer, which was very, very.
But
tricky.
they got 4 today.
But they only got 4
But
right.
4 is the top answer. So should we give the
So
answers
play it,
now?
Carl, and then tell us who each one is.
Right. So there you go.
I didn't know the second one.
There's
Play it
this
again.
early Chinese kid.
So the first one, the last.
There she goes.
That's George Harrison.
No?
That's Philip Bailey. And that's Deacon Blue.
Right, so it was the Lars,
Yeah. What's the second one?
Strokes,
That was very tricky.
That is hard.
George Harrison for
yeah.
Airy, that's all I could get. It was Ari.
Ari Krishna, yeah.
But no. Chinese, Phil Bailey.
Chinese War is.
Yeah. And Deacon Blue, Real Gone Kid.
Real Gone Kid, yeah.
There's this airy Chinese kid.
Very,
Yeah.
very hard.
I love the fact that the normal bit of that, like, the normal bit is like the well-known phrase, there's this hairy Chinese kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, nothing happened there. That's normal. There's this hairy Chinese kid. As a phrase that often... In fact, you're right. We must have said that phrase 20 times today. When was the last time that was said 20 times?
Never. I don't think it's ever been said anyway.
There's this hairy Chinese kid. I mean...
Even in China.
I don't think it's... Well, it's very rare.
Definitely not said in China. Well, I think that was the year, right? You're talking about buying presents and stuff. I think I did treat my mum to that. I didn't buy my dad anything. I think that was like when I got a bit older, I used to get my dad something because he wasn't that bothered anyway. No. So, got me mum, there was a cheap shop, right?
Of course.
Thank God for that.
Called Snips. Right? So I went in there and I thought, let's see what I can get her. And remember Victoria Plum?
I don't think so.
Well, it's like a fairy character.
Right.
Right? And my mum's into gnomes and stuff, right? So I thought, right.
She must be pleased with you then.
Victoria Plum. I was thinking, is that one of the neighbours? Is it like a brandy
Do you
liqueur?
remember Victoria Plum?
Victoria Plum.
Victoria Plum, yeah, it's like a little fictional sort of character, right?
Okay.
So I saw it, I thought, yeah, she'll love that, right? So I did my paper round, saved up for 2 weeks, right?
Aw.
Got that sorted, went to Snips, bought the Victoria Plum. Next day, I'm in town with her, right? So I think, I know what I'll do. I said, come in here a minute, right? So we go in, and we're looking around, and I tested her, right? I went, look at that there, that's alright, innit? And she goes, oh, it's bloody awful.
Oh, Carl. Oh, Carl. Oh, God.
So then, Christmas Day comes, and I said, don't bother opening it. She said, no, why? I said,
Oh,
"Don't."
no! Why did you still give it to her?
So, well, it's too late, I'd already bought it.
Oh, Carl.
So she opened it, and I was like, and she said, oh, that's nice. I said, why are you saying that? I said, the other day, so it's bloody awful. She said, oh, no, I thought you were pointing at something else.
Oh, no.
So that's why I don't get anyone anything anymore.
Oh, God. Play record. Oh, God. Oh. That's good, isn't it?
Not bad.
Gold Rush. Let you down. I'm actually quite affected by Carl's Victoria Plum scenario. Just the fact that, like, that eagerness, he wants to make sure it's a great present. He's saved up his paper round. He thinks it's like a gnome, but modern.
I'm worried that you're using it as an excuse now, and that's why you're not buying anyone any gifts, because you've had your fingers burned once. I mean, you were 6, 7 years old. To be fair.
No, you weren't. You were about 13, weren't you, if you're doing your paper round?
Yeah, well, it must have been, yeah, 11 or 12 then.
Alright.
Yeah, so I'd saved up. Oh, no, I'm not using it as a thing, it's just
What
that,
did you get your mum this year?
I've sent them some money so they can, get a passport.
So they can get a passport.
What do you mean, where are they? Are they trapped
No, 'cause
somewhere? Well, they're in a holding bay somewhere in Dover.
Yeah, I got
What
a
do you
friend
mean?
who's a truck driver, and he's going to sneak them across.
What do you mean?
So they can buy a passport. What do they do? Sell it when they're
No,
a bit down in their luck?
No, they haven't got that much money, right? They've never been abroad, and the mate said they might, take them next year, and they said, oh, we haven't got a passport, so I
You've got to
thought,
buy a passport, have you? Isn't that your God-given right as an Englishman?
no, you've got to pay for them, they're 30 quid each, so you better had to, otherwise they're conning me.
Right.
They said
you
it's
said
30
it's
quid.
60
You don't
quid.
get born with a passport, of
You
course you
sent them
don't.
60 quid in an envelope, have you?
Well, check.
Right.
I love that. He'll be watching telly and France will come on and he'll go, oh, what do you think of that? She goes, it looks bloody awful. I go, oh, don't open it.
no.
Don't open it. Don't open it.
So you've not paid for a holiday for them. You've
No, I've just sorted out the, well, it's the better prize, isn't it? Because they can't go anywhere without it.
Well, the passport keeps on giving.
Yeah, so,
10 years. That is, yeah.
so, but no, I never used to, I mean, I can't think of other things. I used to get me dad once I started getting him stuff, it sort of used to be a dressing gown, and then, but as an extra surprise, I used to put like a cigar in the pocket, so he'd think that was it.
Yeah.
Then he'd put it on and put his hand in the pocket.
Right, and then he
what's
just
this?
hit you because he thought you'd nicked it.
Oh dear.
So you bought him a jacket with a cigar? That's quite thoughtful.
Didn't you sneak a cigar once on Christmas?
Yeah, well, it was that's when they used to have like the big do's, like I say. You know, they were known for it. Like the whole estate used to know that. You know, we were having a party.
Yeah.
So,
So they'd all come round.
so they'd all come round and have food and drink and that.
Pocket the,
I can't
ornaments.
imagine. I cannot imagine how unpleasant that must have been.
Awful.
And you locked in your bedroom with a broken train set.
Yeah, crying.
And looking at Victoria Plum, whatever that was.
In the bin.
Oh, in the bin, yeah. And hear a mum saying, and he got me this. Isn't this
piece
shit?
of rubbish.
You could hear him just throwing it against the wall and laughing.
all the neighbours laughing.
And you'd come down, just be in pieces with loads of spit on it. Just loads of gob on it.
Eyes.
And all the Polaroids of them just like laughing at it and
pointing.
stamping on it.
Alright.
It's brought all flooding back.
But no, I used to get up in the morning and then like they'd still sort of all be there asleep on the floor and on the sofa.
Oh,
that's awful. That's terrible. Christmas is surely the one day a year which is a family thing. It's for the kids. They're the ones
No, but that was Boxing Day.
Well, I know.
Oh, that's all right. It's over.
Yeah.
Back on the bike.
It's over.
All right. Who's going to pay for this? What, me? Yes, Carl. You're doing 2 rounds today.
Yeah, what's your paper round supporting the entire family?
Yeah.
No, so I used to get up and like go downstairs, and they'd be asleep, so I'd be mooching about trying to find like another present that's still working.
I love the idea that these people from the estate had like squashed his presents.
So I found a cigar that had been sort of lit up and then put out, so I thought, I'll have a go at that. I went outside and had a go, and that's the last time I smoked.
Right.
So I tried it, I thought, I don't like that.
I love that he does everything once.
Yeah.
In his life, it's a line of, I've done everything once, I don't need to do it again. Oh, dear.
You know, I said in the past to you, Rick, that my grandparents, so I love them dearly, but it's like, for the last 30 years, they've been waiting to die.
I know,
It's like they just sort of, it's like, you know, the novelty wore off of like...
life in the 50s.
They got kind of bored of it. Life, in the 40s, it was brilliant. All sat around the old Joannas, the Bonds Trail, singing. They loved that. The 50s, you know, that was great as well, because that was the post-war years. It was, you know, it was a bit tight in the pocket, but it was alright, everyone pulled together. And then the 60s came along, all the crazy music, the funny hair.
Let's stay in bed.
Exactly, and they basically stayed in bed. And it was one Christmas when my grandmother said to my dad, what do you like for Christmas? What do you fancy for Christmas? And this must have been, I don't know, 20 years ago. She said, what do you fancy for Christmas, Ron? And he went, well, you know, I could do with a nice big kind of warm winter overcoat. She said, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that, because your father will be dead soon. It's right, you can have his. Meaning my granddad. Well, to be honest with you, my father's still waiting. Which is good news. Good news for my grandfather. Less good news for my dad. He's freezing.
He's freezing. How is he today? He's fine. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm freezing.
It is it's such a weird mindset, that. I think that, to me, is what sums up people from that older generation, the 40s and 50s. And it seems to me that you've got that kind of mindset. It's like you were born in the 30s. Whenever you talk of your childhood, it's like you had, like, a baked potato to take to school. And a hoop and a stick as a Christmas
The other thing is, I think that that sort of generation, it seems that the man is dependent on the woman. There's a total dependence.
Oh, absolutely,
If she dies, he's done.
Yes.
He's done for. Just pine away. If he dies, she's got 30 years of pottering.
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And going to, like, you know, the youth club and the church.
I mean,
It's sort of like that. It's sad. Of course, it's sad for them, but it's sort of not the end of their life.
No, sure.
And it sort of is the other way around. I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
That's a little melancholy thought for.
I know. I've really brought it. You brought it down. You've brought it down. I've brought it. This isn't a nice show at all. This is terrible.
Well,
we're gonna have people just killing themselves. What?
Well, I didn't really want to make it a Christmassy type show, because I don't really like it.
Oh, he's done it again. Well, you did Christmas once, didn't like it.
No, it's just
play a record.
I'm not religious or anything.
What are you? You're not anything.
Teenage Fan Club from the XFM Christmas album, and that's Christmas Eve.
Their guitar sounds are just brilliant. They're just always so nice. Alright, Carl, do you like that? Do you like Teenage Fan Club?
Yeah, they're good.
Carl, I feel like you've never kind of enjoyed the wonder of Christmas. I can't ever get the sense, maybe except when you were very, very young, you know, that kind of bright-eyed, you know, thinking of Santa, you know, kind of landing on the roof and coming down the chimney and drinking the sherry or whatever.
So I like the idea of it, right?
Sure.
The sort of, you know, I used to get a couple of annuals every year, you know.
Yeah, so did I, yeah.
And I was allowed to open one on Christmas Eve.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So
they could throw it on the fire.
I think
it is sort of like
quick skim through to the words
I think that's a light of a cigar off the cooker. Oh.
Well, anyway, listen, a good friend of ours, Ross Noble, the comedian, brilliant, he gave me this picture, Carl, which he's got from a magazine.
He loves you.
And I have to say, I think this, I just looked at it then, obviously it's not going to mean much to the listener.
Oh, this is
but it is currently available. I think it's in the current edition of Bizarre magazine, so you might want to buy that.
It's not horrible though, is it?
There's a certain grotesqueness about it.
Oh, it's a deformed person, isn't it?
Well, to a degree, but I think what it's going to do for Carl is give him, I think for you and I, Rick, we're going to see his face
light up,
brighten up, like opening a wonderful Christmas gift.
Oh, you know what? I think I've seen this. Is this the one with the kid with the big head?
I'll be honest with you, Carl, it is. Have you seen it already?
Yeah.
Let me just show it to you again so you can
I haven't seen it.
It's like...
Yeah. We shouldn't be laughing at that.
No, but that is like the kid who I went to school with. That is the same.
That can't be the same. So do you recognise him?
Seriously, that is the same thing he had.
I mean, I have to say, it does look like it's been computer generated, it's so odd.
Yeah.
But look at the child's face.
I know.
Look at his reaction. Don't take another photo of me.
I'm not sure this is right.
It's not right, but I was hoping that would give you, Carl, just a little glimpse of,
We've had a request as well on the best bits. So someone wants to hear you talking about your mates with the big heads.
I can't believe it, because every time we go there, we get some sort of complaint about something.
About what?
Believe it. Well, that for some reason that always goes from the story with my dad going to Blackpool for taking those kids there.
And what kids?
And leave it.
No, what?
No,
I don't know. There's people that know what you're talking
I'll
about.
tell you when we put a song on.
No, well I know what it is, but you can't just say that.
Well,
Is it when? Is it when your dad put a kid in the wheelie bin because he was getting out of hand?
Yeah. So we're going to be.
We can't go through it again. It's too controversial.
We're gonna. What's the name? No, well, the thing is, right, you were just saying about what are you? About Christmas. That's the funny thing, right? Because in our house, there's no one who's religious, right?
No.
My dad got annoyed when I went to church that day. He was like, what are you doing that for?
Of course.
I went to see a gig in Liverpool. Remember the band The Christians?
Yeah.
He thought I'd join some club.
Yeah.
I said, I've been to see The Christians. He was saying to me, man, what's he doing going out with them?
Yeah.
And then, the other thing is, because I'm not christened or anything, my mum used to say to me, don't tell anyone that, because there's witches and stuff.
I want to go back and see his upbringing. I just want to go back and see him at 7. One day in the life of Carl, age 7.
Just have 3 ghosts visit him tonight. And take him back to his time. But we could go with him.
We can be some of the ghosts.
Yeah, the ghosts of Christmas past. Remember this?
That's incredible. Because
just say
so she wasn't Christian, but she thought maybe someone could take your soul because you weren't Christian.
There's like, there's cults and that, isn't there? And if they find out you're not christened, then...
Right. I don't think they care. I don't think a lot of cults care.
Well,
but what can they do if you're not Christian?
I don't know. I just said all right, because then through that time there must have been a time when.
But now they know.
Yeah, but I'm older now, so I'm all right. She used to worry about me playing out on the street.
Oh, she was worried about when you were naive and stupid and easily led.
Well,
yeah. No. Good point. No, you're right now. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the one similar to that I was taught when I was little was a vision of heaven and hell. And, it went down to hell, and in hell, right, there was these, people had like 20-foot long, chopsticks.
Yeah.
And they were getting their food, and they couldn't get the chopsticks into the food and get it round to their mouth because they were just too long.
Right.
Right, and that was hell. And in heaven, they had exactly the same thing, but they were feeding each other.
What? Right.
You don't like Chinese food? Is that what you're Is that what your concern is, Carl?
No, just...
Well, see, the one I remember, I can't remember the ending. It's about 2 nuns in a bath.
Yeah, I know.
I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Or are they on a bike?
That's 2 adventures. It's the same nuns, but they go to all sorts of adventures. They're
normally quite erotic adventures.
Well, they are. There's one when they're driving down a cobbled street, I remember.
Oh, go on.
And then there's the other, then of course... Whalebones on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais. With me, Steve Merchant, and Carl. Well, Carl, I really don't think you got your teeth into the fables, really. I don't think you...
There wasn't anything to learn. I read a couple, thought, yeah, that's alright. And put it down again. There wasn't anything to learn. It was all stuff I knew already. But made up with nice little foxes and bears and stuff. So...
Yeah. But that one about, like... That one we spoke about, like, when the hares are going, we should share all our food, and the lion said, that's a good argument, but it hasn't got the teeth and claws that we've got. That's lovely. Because it's sort of like, that's an indictment on sort of, you could say it's an anti-equality almost. You could get really sort of deep into that. You know what I mean? You could, no?
Big philosophical ideas in a nutshell, not interesting?
No, not really.
Okay.
Okay then, well, you're gonna hate this then. I've brought in the concise Oxford Dictionary of Quotations. Now just look at some of your favourites. I'd suggest going straight to things like, Wilde, or, Newton, or Churchill, or,
You're a big fan of Churchill?
Yeah,
like
well, he's the boy. Yeah, right, okay, let's, go through that old Kramer, blah, blah. Newton, right, right, here's a famous one, okay? This is Isaac Newton. If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants.
Do you like that one?
So there's a meaning in it?
Yeah.
Well, he hasn't actually stood on the shoulders of giants.
So remember, he's an amazing, inventor and mathematician, and he discovered the incredible, laws of the universe, and and he's saying, yeah, okay.
If you want a good view, move into a multi-story.
He's saying, right? He's saying, if I have seen further than the people, and he's being modest here, it's because I've stood on the shoulders of giants to get that view.
If it weren't for all the people that have come before him with their great insight and knowledge, he wouldn't have seen what he's seen.
He's taken his learning, isn't it? Those people have given
Why
him
just say that? Instead of making up, that's what I've got a problem with. People don't say what they mean.
Poetry, art, and...
In life, though, people never say what they actually mean, and, you know, there's loads of books on it. I don't know.
But the point is that he's just summarised quite a tricky idea beautifully.
It's beautiful. That gets into you much deeper than just the words, than just the literal words. You know what I mean?
One of my favourites is from an American novelist, and the quote is talking about the subject of fame and being famous. Fame is a mask that eats into the face. Don't you think that's amazing?
Meaning?
Well, meaning that fame is something that is artificial, that you wear initially, you become famous, but it's ethereal, it's nothing, it's intangible, it's just an artifice. But if you stay famous long enough, you begin to think that that mask you're wearing is really your real face. So that you begin to, you know, think that you are more than you perhaps are. Do you see what I mean? In the way that fame and power can corrupt.
Oh, who said that?
No, it's an American novelist, I forget his name.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Pick another one, right?
Yeah, let's have a look. Bernard Shaw, he's no slouch.
I think maybe when you take this book of quotations home, Carl, you should maybe just draw up maybe a list of 3 or 4 of your favourites and tell them next week.
I want to do Shaw, Wilde, I look at Shakespeare as well, you know, he's...
Are you a fan of Shakespeare?
No.
Go on, what's your problem with it?
Just, the way they speak. Can't follow it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like West Side Story?
It's really old as well. I can't relate to it. It's like years and years ago, isn't it? That's why I like Churchill. Because
1940s.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is Shaw. Okay. There are 2 tragedies in life. One is not to get your heart's desire. The other is to get it.
Again, how would you see that in your little?
Well, that's one homework then. I'll mark that. That's your homework. You got to work that out. You got to tell me what you think of it.
Say again.
Don't ask Suzanne. It's there. All right. There are 2 tragedies in life. One is not to get your heart's desire. The other is to get it. Okay. Take that home with you, and we'll be hearing Carl come up with some amazing quotations next week.
Yeah. Pick out your favourites.
Now I'd like to play a song for the lovers while he's thinking.
No, I don't think we've got the lovers lined up.
Oh, what have we got?
Bit of hip-hop. It's hip-hop hooray.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, everyone's a big fan. I played something from this last week. It's this new album from Nerd, In Search Of. It's been re-recorded by the lads, I don't know why. And anyway, it's particularly good. We played last week Things Are Getting Better. This is the one we have played in the past, actually. Bobby James.
Doves, there goes the fear on XFM 104.9. Well, just read that book anyway. Can I just say, this is one of a beautiful, it's Keats, right? What do you think of this? A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness.
See, this is just like how it was at school now. The last couple of weeks I've been quite interested in what you've been giving me. Now it's really like,
okay.
I really don't care.
Now what about this? Now I did philosophy, and philosophy is obviously the quest for knowledge, and look, listen to this though. This is what Keats came out with. Philosophy will clip an angel's wings. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
Don't be constrained by what's, dream a little, you know what I mean? Just go beyond. I don't agree with it, but it's a lovely bit of poetry.
Yeah.
Yeah? So you're gonna read that for me, are you, Carl? Yeah?
Yeah. Just pick out 5 of your favourites.
Yeah.
The ones that mean something to you.
And then next week I'll bring you in pictures of animals.
Brilliant.
Okay?
We'll do it.
Okay, and some sweets.
Rick, I've had a word with some of the top brass here. Or they had a word with me in the corridor. If you remember when
Did
we
they
started...
say, who are you?
Pretty much, yeah. Oi, 4 eyes.
Yeah.
And, no, they said they were saying that, obviously enjoy the show, they love it. And, they're just worried though that in the early days when we started the show, remember we were a lot more informative. We used to do the film reviews, there was things like the gig guide and stuff like that. Sure. Which we've kind of let go by the way, sorry.
Yeah, they want us to bring that.
Well, exactly, so I just want...
No, the gig guide, I was worried that, funnily enough, the XFM gig guide does not include some of the biggest bands in the world.
Okay, alright.
Or some of the best venues. That's what worried me.
Look, Rick, just do what you're told, alright? There's the gig guide. It's got a lot of big names on it. You're gonna love the gig guide.
I need a bet if this is gonna be pretty impressive.
Let's play the proper jingle.
Okay. Tonight, if you want to, if you want to see these two bands in a small venue, get down to the Metro Bar on Oxford Street. Doors are at 8 p.m. and tickets are only £6 to see 10 Benson and Beach Buggy. Alright? Now, if you missed Long Wave, supporting the Strokes of Brixton Academy last night, you can catch them headlining Casino Royale at the Monarch.
Rick, I missed them last night. How much will I be paying for that?
You'll only be paying £5, right? But listen, they're also supported by Shelby and I Remember Nothing.
Brilliant.
Now, people know about the Brixton Academy, but a little-known venue in Brixton is the Windmill. And you're going to see 3 great bands there tonight. Guapo, Plonquez, and Mechanical Beetles Never Quite Warm. So, Orange Goblin and Grand Magus play the garage, and, Diefenbach and Sudden play the Rotar sessions at Nine Hills Arts Club. So that's the gig, guys, next time.
What a load of rubbish. I mean, switch off the jingle. Look at this. We've discussed this before, haven't we? Names for bands that will never be anything.
Ladies and gentlemen,
please welcome to the stage Mechanical Beetles Never Quite Warm. Please welcome to the stage Planquez. Please welcome to the stage Orange Goblin. Oh, goodness me. Look at this.
Oh, God. Orange Goblin. Orange Goblin.
It's so rubbish.
What's his name? Got a fake town, hasn't he? That one of his supermarket sweep. What's his name?
Dale Winton.
Dale Winton, yeah.
Supporting REM. I Remember Nothing. Never gonna happen. I mean, please, come on, people, think.
Hey, here's a band that plays big venues. Doesn't make them better, sure, but this is Radiohead. This is Song for the Lovers and Let Down off OK Computer. This is beautiful. So, see, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. Doesn't that move you at all, Carl? Philosophy will clip an angel's wings.
There was an old lady from Ealing
who was put into...
What about another feature we'd like doing?
What?
Song with a story.
Okay, he's been working on this, hasn't he?
Hasn't he?
He's like a producer, isn't he?
Yeah.
But with a completely round head.
Just, you know, I was saying that, you were saying I don't like music, but I'm saying I do if I can hear what they're singing about, and there's a reason to sort of listen to it.
Have you turned into 50s dad? What is this?
No, but you know, it's like, it's nice to have a song where you go, you know, I can't turn it off because I need to know how it ends. You know what I mean? It's like a mini...
Right. It's like a mini film. You can't sit through a film unless it's got a grotesque in it. He can watch The Elephant Man, because he's getting a glimpse of this... He's waiting to see the bloke's face. That's all he's waiting for, right? And so, 3 minutes is about as much as you can maintain his...
well, last week we did, Babushka.
Yeah.
You know, that woman dressing up, sort of tricking her husband, then it sort of backfires and that. Don't know how it ended properly, I don't know if they split up or whatever. But this week...
There's no follow-up. Kate Bush isn't now penning the sequel. Right, go on then, so what's this thing?
Pinball Wizard.
Right, okay, what's the story there?
It's about this sort of deaf, dumb, blind kid.
Right.
Who's good at pinball. That's it.
See, I don't believe he would be good at pinball.
But even if he is, it's a lot to give up, isn't it? Just for that.
Well, he didn't give it up.
No, but it's not like, well, you can't even say to him, oh, you know, a lot of bad news and that, but you're good at pinball. It's just a bit rubbish. I mean, does he even know he's playing pinball? Is what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? And it's not hard, it's just moving the thing, no, just hitting the buttons hard.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, if he was good at Pac-Man or something, you go, oh yeah. But...
It wouldn't scan, would it? Well, I mean, what were they thinking of? What were the Who thinking of when they wrote this?
Well, let's have a listen to it.
But, you see, now,
he's a Pac-Man wizard.
It kind of works.
Yeah.
He's deaf, dumb, and blind, though.
Yeah.
That's pretty grim, isn't it?
It's rubbish, isn't it?
Well, don't say that. Oh, that's alright, I can't hear you.
No, but it is like, it's just the worst, isn't it? I can't imagine what that would be like. It's pointless. Like being a tapeworm or something, isn't it? It's just... No, but what I'm saying is, what sort of a life is that? It's horrible.
It is a bit like being one of those creatures deep in the ocean.
Well, look, can I just answer your questions? It must be terrible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, job done.
But would you want a song about it, and, you know, he's good at pinball?
But it's not a real person, which, I mean, we were getting onto the realms of people with disabilities, but he is not a bloke that existed they sang a song about.
Well, listen to it, anyway, let's...
Well, it's not a true story, I don't need to listen to it.
Let's have a listen.
Oh, okay. Pinball Wizard by The Who. A little song with a story there about a little deaf, dumb and blind kid. Thoughts, Carl?
I just, it's depressing, like I say. I don't know why. Is he enjoying playing the game?
I don't know, let's get Pete Townsend on the phone.
Carl, what are you talking about?
I'm just trying
Listen
to
to the lyrics, right? Deaf, dumb, blind kid. He can't hear, no bells and bells. He can't see any flashing lights. He plays by sense of smell. Now, I'm pretty sure that isn't a scientific document Pete Townsend is reading out there when he wrote this song. He's making it up.
But the thing is, with all songs or stories, there's got to be a little bit of realism to it. What, do you know what I mean? Why bother putting money in it? Just let him hit the buttons if he's happy.
That's true.
That's a fair point.
That's a fair point. That is a fair point.
Yeah.
That is great. Yeah, well, I think you've made Daltrey and Entwistle and the whole crew look like fools.
Yeah, they won't get fooled again.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, of all the thing, I mean, it is horrible. We're not, like, having a go. This is what I always worry about when we play, but at the end of the day, that's what he's singing about, so we're not having a go.
No. And it's not a real person. It doesn't really exist. I say again, it's a fictional person playing pinball and always getting a replay. Okay? This fella's saying that he's good at pinball, he's played from Surrey to Bromley, but there's this little deaf and blind kid. He can't believe it. He cannot believe it.
If you had to lose something, Steve, right?
It wouldn't be money.
That's fair enough.
Your sight or your ears. What?
That's too much, I can't decide. That's too painful. Sight or your ears?
What about you?
Intuitively, it would be your hearing, because I couldn't...
No, I think it's got to be sight for me.
Yeah.
Well, you're always together, so that's alright.
Anyway, listen, is it almost time?
Well, I've got to ask Carl. I'm sorry, I've got to ask
Oh,
Carl.
I'm sorry, go on.
Carl, what would you rather be, deaf or blind? When does this question ever really come up? When the doctor goes, well, listen, you've got our son. Well, we can either lose your eyes or your ears. It's up for you. This is never a decision that has to be made by anyone ever in life. But go on then, would you rather be blind or deaf?
It depends where you live.
I'm not even sure these are PC terms, blind and deaf anymore. Would you rather use your sense of sight or sight of hearing?
Depends where you live.
What do you mean it depends where you live?
Well, say if you lived in, like, a barren sort of, you know, Africa or whatever, right? Now to sea, right?
Sure.
So, you could lose your sight.
Sure. But if you lived in a woman's locker room...
Well, if you live in...
quite noisy.
Yeah, it's quite noisy.
Stop banging that door.
Yeah, I'll have my sight, lose my hearing.
But if you live in, like, New York, low to sea, but a little bit noisy.
Sure.
So...
Perfect.
That is a brilliant answer. Unbelievable, once again. We've got a song with a story?
Yeah, doing that.
What is it?
I don't want to sort of tell you what it is yet, because
Right.
the song isn't that great, do you know what I mean? It's
good.
not a song
Good.
that's like an XFM song, but every time I hear it on, say, like, Magic or whatever,
Yeah.
I have an argument.
105.4.
Yeah, I have an argument with Suzanne that, you know, what I think it's about, and she says, don't be stupid, it's not about that, and I'll say, no, it is.
And so we're gonna decide who's right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what song you're talking about, and I don't know what the argument is, but Suzanne's right.
Definitely.
No
Well,
doubt about it.
Yeah, well, I'll listen, but I'm hoping that once people sort of listen to it again with my thoughts every time
Well,
they hear
this
it,
song sums up what people should think of you. It's don't believe a word. Alright? That's the sort of links I'm capable of.
If that was a bad guess for Sony, then nothing will. Carl, are we doing your, story with a song?
Is that what you want to do?
Yeah.
Well,
Excited about it.
like what was it the other week? We did
Babushka.
Babushka.
Yeah. Pinball Wizard. You said if he's deaf, dumb and blind, he doesn't even know he's playing pinball, which is...
I just
Fair
said
point.
don't bother putting money in it. That's all I'm saying. Let him play pinball, but don't waste 20p or whatever. Good point. This week, right? Do you know I was saying?
It is a good point, actually.
It is a good point.
Again, though, it wasn't a documentary. It was
What?
just... It's not... Didn't really happen.
Yeah, well, do you know I was saying sometimes I listen to song. I like a song to be obvious what it's saying. Pinball Wizard was a good
You
story.
need a song to be obvious.
In the ghetto, you know, it's a kid growing up and all
the
that
ghetto,
rough area, gets killed for nicking cars and messing with guns and that. Living in the city, growing up in New York, rough area, how you cope with it and that, right? But they've got to be as simple as that. Otherwise, I'm not that
I've
happy.
got a brand new combine harvester.
If-
Yeah,
It's about like the machine. It's brand new.
Yeah.
It's brand new.
But even though it's new, he's willing to lend it out to other people.
No, but what I mean is, if you start trying to be clever,
Yeah.
the story's lost on you, innit?
Yeah.
not necessarily me or Rick, but yeah, sure.
Go on, we know what you mean. Go on.
On primates, yeah.
Well, this song here, right? It's not an XFM song. You'll probably hate the song, to be honest.
Go on, what is it?
What's the song?
Yeah.
It's Wonderful Tonight. Right? Eric Clapton.
Okay, it's alright. It's a
a bit
it's a sort of bluesy sort of ballad from the late 70s. Yeah, it's alright.
But I'm always arguing with Suzanne, because every time I hear it, I'm getting different pictures in my head
Yeah.
of, like, what's going on, right?
Okay.
And I'm convinced it's about, like, this little cripple fella in a wheelchair, right? And he's knocking about with his wife. And
We
it's-
don't say cripple anymore, do we, Steve? Do we say
I
cripple?
don't think we've said that since,
70s?
I think it's the 70s when we stopped.
Alright, just a little fella in a wheelchair then.
Okay.
And the story, it's all sort of, you know, how he's being pushed about by his
Again,
wife.
that's not literally.
By his wife, she's wheeling him about, what do you
He's
mean?
wheeling him about, they go to a party, everyone sort of looks round and looks at him.
What makes you think that he's in a wheelchair? What's the clues? What's the words?
There's loads of little things. There's
Go on.
like, well, like I say, something about his wife walking around with me and all that. Well, of course she is. She's pushing him about.
But whoa, walking around. If someone said, "Oh, she was walking around with me," I'd think they were both walking round.
There's a few.
But that's not. Well, there must be another. There must be a reason why you suddenly thought that fella's in a wheelchair.
Right. My wife's walking around with
Put on
me.
your makeup, and I feel alright.
No, and she's always saying, "Do you feel all right?" And that she's always asking him how he is.
Yeah, but she's
Just listen. Let me play it, right? And try and picture the scene, right?
But now I'm only thinking of a little fella in a wheelchair.
Well, have a listen to it,
Oh.
and you know, just everything that's being said.
Okay.
Understand why I'm thinking what I'm thinking. That's what I'm picturing.
But that doesn't mean it happened. You picture people that are half man, half moth. It doesn't mean it's possible. Do you know what I mean, Carl? What you think is usually not true. Suzanne is totally right. There is no reason. I have never ever thought that Eric Clapton was singing about a little fella in a wheelchair. And the one clue in that, there's two, isn't there? Are you alright? Well, let me say that, little cripple. Right, and, I'll give her the car keys. Oh, why's she driving? He ain't got any legs.
Pushing him around and that.
No, pushing him around.
So we'll do one more next week then. We've got a good song with a story later.
Go on, what we got?
Don't want to tell you yet.
Alright.
Now, is it as pitiful as last week's, where you somehow misheard that Eric Clapton song? What was the Eric Clapton song?
Well, Wonderful Tonight, and he was convinced it was about a bloke in a wheelchair for no reason. No evidence at all. Other than she's walking around with me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, walking around with me. No,
I walk
mean,
into a room and everyone's head turns
Yeah.
to look at her, which you didn't seem to
Helps
hear.
him to bed.
because he's drunk. He's had a few.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, well, you're totally wrong. Well, we've got to do, Pilkington, haven't we?
Do you want to?
Yeah.
Okay, we should explain this, I think.
Well, it's Carl's new idea for, a TV show. He wants to do a TV show called Do We Need Him, where he goes round and, he talks to experts like David Attenborough, David Bellamy, maybe Lenny Henry doing David Bellamy.
Right, yeah.
If he can't get the real one. And he just picks on an animal that he doesn't really like, doesn't think you need him, and an expert will tell him, if we do, if this is the first instalment.
Let me put a song on, right? Now we've got him, and then I can set it up and stuff, and tell, you know, because
Explain it fully.
explain it and that.
Let's do a classic, let's do a big stomp in one of the best Christmas songs of all time, shall we?
What are you thinking?
Fairy Tale in New York.
Excellent. Oh, it's always my
Homes,
home.
featuring Christian McCall on XFM 104.9, the Christmas edition.
Indeed.
Next week, we've had loads of suggestions, Carl, for your best bits. It's basically all your best bits. Me and Steve are largely irrelevant in the voting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can compile your best bits next week, and they'll be loving it. We had a request for the little Chinese fella in his pants, a horse in the house, cutting your hair on the railway station.
If you haven't heard those stories, what does that mean? The little Chinaman in your pants, you've got to be tuning in next week to find out what that is.
The only thing is, the older horse in the house was in the last best of.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't stop what's his name? If you're one of those people that want to see these clips again, tune in.
Oh,
Yeah.
it'll be over Christmas.
It'll be alright on the night 84.
Yeah.
Someone kill me. I think I'm gonna live forever.
It's like we said before, who goes to the recording of one of those? There's always people in the audience,
Yeah.
aren't there?
That would be great. Tickets for It'll Be Alright on the Night.
And they laugh at his jokes, but I mean, I don't know
I
what
think
the
how
jokes
many
are.
takes it, you know, I mean, how long it takes to record that. The show's about 3 hours, so the recording must be about 9.
Have you ever seen Kirsty's home videos on Sky One?
I think so.
It's Kirsty Gallagher.
Dogs falling down
It's
slides.
like, it's like you've been framed, but
falling over in a wedding.
It's got audience laughter. But I'm assuming it can't be a real audience. I'm assuming it must be like
No, they've
Flintstones.
just lifted it from the Flintstones.
Yeah.
The laughs from the Flintstones.
A lot of people forget that the Flintstones had an audience. If you watch the Flintstones, there's laughter when Fred does something funny.
Yeah.
The idea of people being shipped in.
But we were talking
watch a
about,
cartoon.
I like the idea that some jokes weren't as funny as others.
Exactly.
Like the director going, we'll put a laugh on that, and the producer going, it's not as funny.
I think Dino should
not as funny.
Dino should get a round of applause every time he comes in. Everyone knows him. The kids love him. He's a bit.
We're making it up.
Yeah, and Barney getting disgruntled because his jokes never get decent
Yeah, he's like wise.
exactly. Yeah. He's like really wise.
Okay,
Anyway,
Carl,
so
here we go. It's an exciting feature that I think will be picked up by Channel 5. It's going to be Karl Pilkington, Do We Need Him? Where Karl goes around checking out animals with top experts, asking whether we need them in the world.
Yeah. So, this is the first one. We won't do it next week, but I'm already sorting out the contact. We will be looking at octopus, because they're a bit weird. Okay. So that's what you got to look forward to in 20, in 03.
Again, if you have an animal that you feel is unnecessary in the world, then email us, and I'm sure Karl will investigate for you.
Well, the other thing as well, whilst we're on to that, I want to sort of have a bit of research with me, so when I speak to the bloke or the woman about the octopus, right, I want,
You want to be armed with the facts?
Well, sort of response from listeners, so I can say, well, 70% of XFM listeners said we should get rid of them.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? Like Jon Snow does on Channel 4 when he does all, politics stuff. So, if you agree with me, just send an email saying yes.
So yes, we should get rid of them.
Yes, yeah. Or,
Yes, get rid of them. Because the house believes always we should get rid of these animals. You're picking animals you want to get rid of. So yes is, get rid of them. No is, don't get rid of them.
Well, and not no, it's Noah, because they go on the Ark. The ones we keep go on the Ark.
That element I'd completely forgotten about, and I think that's a wise move, because I don't think that's working. I don't think he thought through the whole Noah. So that's just complicating the show, I think.
So yes, we get rid of them. Noah, they're saved on the Ark.
Yeah.
Right, okay,
Right,
so here we
lovely.
go then, jellyfish.
So today we're looking at jellyfish in Pilkington. I'm talking to Vicky, who works in an aquarium in Anglesey, isn't it?
Yes, it is, yes.
Right, brilliant. Today we want to find out if we really need jellyfish. I've got a bit of a problem with them anyway, because I've been stung by one, and I've done a little bit of research into them, so I'll tell you what I know about them.
Okay.
You might learn some stuff from me.
Oh, you never know.
And if I'm talking nonsense, just tell me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right, so first of all, they don't have eyes, do they?
No, they don't.
Right, so I'm right with that. No lungs.
No lungs.
They haven't got a heart.
No hearts, heartless.
And they're made up of like 97% water.
Yes, they are.
So they're pretty useless, really.
Well, they have got a nervous system. They're actually about 650 million years old, so they've evolved and they've outlived the dinosaurs, and they're even older than the sharks, and they can even outfox us, because NASA scientists have worked with them to try and work out how they operate in weightlessness, and they still don't know how they do that. Took them into space actually to figure out how they did that.
Seems like a bit of a waste of money, but do you know Port Maddock? I used to go there a lot from the holidays, and there used to be a load of them washed up on the beach. People on motorbikes used to go over them and stuff.
Yeah. Well, we get the moon jellyfish. That's the ones with they've got pink bits in the middle.
Yeah,
that's their reproductive bodies.
I think that was them. I think they're the ones who went over on the bike because you could see pink bits. What do they do? If the jellyfish went, would we have a problem on our hands, do you think?
Okay. You might have a bit of a knock-on effect, because things like turtles eat jellyfish.
Yeah, but do we need turtles?
Well, don't forget that when you take out something from the marine system, something normally feeds on. I mean, they're not just there for the fun of it. Something either feeds on it or feeds on what they excrete.
What you're saying is they exist to sort of feed others and also to eat some stuff that's
Well,
in the
yeah,
sea.
they control the population of other fish and species that might otherwise be a problem.
Okay, well, let's kind of wrap this up, right? The question that I'm asking today is, do we need them? Say if Noah had his ark, right? You've swum and got on the boat, you're alright, you're safe, he's going to keep you to sort of populate the world as well, right? So it's you and him. He's not a bad looking fella, so you're happy.
Yeah.
He says to you, Vicky, do we need them?
Absolutely.
I don't even know why she even gave you that interview. When you start off with, right, yeah, trying to find out if I need you, but what did you tell her to get her to talk to you?
Just said I'm doing some research on stuff.
Did she think you were a schoolboy or something?
No, she just said, oh, alright. She said, how long will it go on? I said, not long, just like 5 minutes, have a quick chat. And she was loved it, didn't she? She sounded happy to take part in that.
So, the fact
I love the fact that you've got an expert and you suggest that she's going to be having sex with Noah. He's a good fella, so you're happy. She goes, yeah. I mean, I don't know why you stopped there. I didn't go into positions or something. I can't believe...
The problem is, really, I didn't get to the bottom of what I wanted to say, because...
Oh, no, you did. That's it. That's done now. That's a pretty good academic work. That's proved, you know.
No, but the turtle thing, when she said, oh, if you get rid of them, the turtles, won't have anything to eat. But when she said that, I mean, I couldn't say it because it would have took her off and confused her. But...
Well, she's a scientist. She's easily confused.
Well, say, like, when Suzanne is working, right... I'm not a very good cook, so I always get, like, an Indian in.
What? To do the cooking for you?
So, right, I'll have an Indian. Right, now, say if, for some reason, it closed, I get a Chinese. So why don't the turtle just... There's loads of stuff in the sea. But I didn't want to get too heavy on her, but...
It's pretty deep.
Oh, that is genius.
But we'll look at...
But so the fact that she said, yes, you need jellyfish, does that mean that you've changed your... I mean, what I'm saying is, does her answer go? Does that stand?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
It does, does it?
It does, yeah. Whatever I get the expert to say, I try and get them in a corner.
Right, you try and, argue them into a corner.
Argue them into a corner, but that time she wasn't having any of it, so we've got to carry on having them.
Yeah.
So in the new year, we'll be looking at octopus.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, great. Brilliant. Place and feeder. Christmas.
I think there's often...
Carl with his Victoria Plum. I want to see a Victoria Plum. I want to know what it is. Does it look like a little gnome?
It's a woman gnome.
A female gnome?
Yeah.
A little gnome. Did your mum collect gnomes?
She likes anything gnomes, she likes fairies, she likes, Indians. She collects all that stuff. And it doesn't matter what it is.
What do you mean?
Like a proper Indian with all the headgear on.
Oh, Native American.
She likes anything with them on, like, it can be a fridge magnet, it can be, just anything.
A lot of Native American wisdom is around the fridge magnet, because they think it has special powers of adhesion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, you read some of their writings, the great works. It reminds me, talking of gnomes, he said to me in the week, he went, oh, did you see that programme on telly last night about dwarves and fellas without legs nicking cars? And I went, no. He went, oh, it's amazing, right, because they haven't got legs and that, they scoot along and they can nip into a car like the Dukes of Hazzard.
Explain more, Carl.
No, you see, I didn't see it, someone else told me about it.
Oh!
That's what I said to you. I said, did you see it? Because I missed it. And it's about these little fellas, who, specialise in car nicking. And the thing I wanted to know is, because this lad who sort of only watched half of it.
Is he like you?
Well, I said, I can understand how it's easy to get in, but then how do you get away? Because you can't reach the pedals.
Yeah.
Can there be two of them?
But presumably he opens the car for someone else.
What is it?
What do you mean?
What, so he's steering and he's like, right, press the brake a bit.
And then there's one that's just legs, but without the top half.
I don't understand how this helps them though. Why does this make it easier for them to steal
Because they can
cars?
just get through the window really quickly, like in the Dukes of Hazzard.
Why?
Because their legs don't get in the way.
Right.
Do they just run? And just...
But what do you mean the window? I mean, what? So someone's driving along.
Well, I didn't see it.
And
This is
leaves
why
the
I'm
window
asking
open?
you. I didn't see
Do they
it.
leap in when there's someone still driving the car?
I don't know.
Well, there's too many things left unanswered here. I
Well,
can't go
maybe
over
someone's seen
Christmas
it and they
and
can
not know.
email in. But that's sort of...
This panicked you anyway, I imagine.
I bet you were gutted you missed that programme, weren't you?
Well, I'm interested in stuff like that. Because I like learning.